Okay, we'll see if we can get this going here. This is Ken, and I'm going to show you a little theory of mine. Told a friend that I would do this, so we'll see how it goes. My theory is to use a wireless microphone to capture EVPs instead of an SB scanner, radio scanner thing, or tape recorder that can get interference from humans and outside noises. It's my theory that spirits, well, my theory and maybe some other people's theory, spirits don't have lungs because their body is no longer. So what are they putting out? And basically, I believe it's directional radio or energy waves of a sort, maybe radio or maybe microwave type, somewhere in there. So this is what I'm explaining on what to do. So I got a couple of these, wireless microphone transmitters, receivers, that you can get these things cheap online, Amazon or whatever. The Pile are better than these guys. Okay, these I think are like maybe a clone of some sort. So if you want better quality, find one of these. The PDWM96 wireless microphone. They seem to come through a lot clearer in the receiver of this thing. Okay, now this came with this, comes with this big old, 1/4-inch jack connector on it for your tape recorders and stereo systems and stuff like that to plug in. That's the old jack type. Okay, well, I don't have that on my cell phone. I have a little 1/4-inch, 3.5. So I want to be able to connect with that. So what I did with this one, I just basically took one of these, and I bought this, and you open it up. You basically cut this little end off here, and then you solder it on to this piece in place of this. Okay, now this was my first attempt, and this does work. I use this one because I didn't have, at the time I didn't have these, so I just used this guy, which was an extension. I cut them off, and you can see this is the other brand here, the clone. All it is 2 wires. Attach ground wire up here, attach the other wire down there where the other thing comes out for this big guy. So, and the difference between this and this guy, okay, are these coils. That's one of the differences in the arrangement. The chips are similar. The layout of the board is different from the one to the other, but the chips are similar. And because this one has 3 of these little coils in it, it picks up better as far as the wireless, and it sounds better. It's not as staticky. Okay, so basically what you do is you take this little thing, you remove the big hunkin' thing here, okay, and what I did was I soldered this onto here. Okay, so now I have it sticking out of the Pilar. And the reason why I did that is because now I can basically I can stick the jack in, okay, but this is not the right connector still. I need the 4. So I need like one like this with the 4, and this only has the 3 segments. I need a 4, so I got one of those, and I can get that, and then I'll be able to direct connect this in. Okay, but I really don't like that being like that, because that's a lot of stress on that point, and when you're walking around in the field and whatnot, you know. So that's why I made this up. Okay, this has the 4, and I can plug it in to that, and I got my own jack that I can plug into here, and this does work. Okay, so I can record from this. All right. One of the other things that I found out was with this guy, you could turn him on, and like, you know, how come the light doesn't come on? You know, it's like, is it broken? I mean, when I first turned this thing on, it flashed, and that was it. It's like cheap stuff. And then I found out that if you go and you turn on the transmitter, now all of a sudden the light comes on, and they both come on. But with this transmitter off, it doesn't come on. So just keep that in mind if you're using these. So here's the one, the way I made this thing up. Okay, I took a cheap pair of headphones. It's from a dollar store. You get these, and they have the little microphone thing in it and all. Well, basically, I chopped off the one section, you know, from the bottom. I just took the wire and the plug thing, and I chopped it off, and then I just soldered in on my own jack. So now I can direct connect with this guy. And walking with this like this, you know, I can bunch this up, and now I'm not putting pressure on this jack in here, so it'll work. Now the other thing is, the reason why I'm doing this, to show you, I'm trying to take a microphone and cover it so it can't hear human sound. Okay, and like I said before, I don't believe ghosts have lungs, and therefore they're not breathing out airwaves. So I made up this, you know, printed out some of these charts that explain, you know, how the human hearing works. You know, you bang on a sound, and airwaves travel to your ear. Okay, and then from your ear, all right, this is your inside of your ear. It comes down, it hits the eardrum, and then it has the 3 little bones there that push on this little sac here. And then you have this coil up here, and the air moves in there, and your nerve ending here picks up. It converts this little portion of your ear, your inner ear, converts the air to voltage, electrical voltage. Okay, even though it's small, it's still electrical voltage, and that's what travels down the nerve. Okay, so it's an electrical pulse going down. So if you look at the inside of your ear, okay, this is the inside of the ear, and you have that one spiral with the nerve endings connecting. You have all these like little hairs and stuff, and what it does is it converts from the air moving in here, moving the drum, the 3 bones, pushing against this diaphragm from the inner ear, and it pushes airwaves, and it moves these guys, and it makes little electrical pulses. So if you're, you know, if you're hearing sounds, that's why. But the other thing, my other thought is like, what if you took away this part? Would you still be able to hear energy waves like a ghost doesn't put out here, airwaves? So what is it putting out? It's putting out energy waves. And so, it's like kind of like maybe microwaves or radio waves, and we're really close to being able to hear those. Some may say it's not possible, but you you can get microwaves into your inner ear, and you'll pick up sounds from it. So, and this is what I'm going to show you. Okay. So this is a diagram or a chart of the hearing. The range of hearing. A human hears 31 hertz to 19 kilohertz. Okay. Dogs will hear from 64 hertz to 44 kilohertz, and cats can hear from 55 hertz to 77 kilohertz. So your cats, you watch your cats do stuff, and if you have a ferret can hear better than both of the cat and dog because they can hear from 16 hertz to 44 kilohertz. Okay, so that's the range. So you're in the kilohertz range somewhere there. Now you got your FM and AM. So you got your FM band here and your AM band on the spectrum. And if you notice that the kilohertz are right in here where the AM band is, so we're sitting in this section up here. So your radio waves, the way they get dispersed, okay, this is basically how a radio tower disperses radio waves. It disperses it in a sphere-like, and it expands all over the place. So that's what the radio waves are. But spirits, I believe, are sending out like a microwave signal. And here you have your radio waves, here you have your microwave type signal. So you're right in between. Okay. And if you look closer, here you have your radio signal, here you have the human, and here you have your microwave. So human is basically in between the radio waves and the microwaves. Okay. So you're close to being able to hear that, and this is just a thing to show you that energy waves, what I consider energy waves, they have microwave wave stuff out now that are energy waves, and you can see that they can go in and you would be able to hear them, but they can also do damage. So they'll get inside your skull, the radio waves, and this just shows you that it can get inside your skull and do damage to your brain. But but we're not looking at weapons. We're just using this as an example. So to say that, yeah, microwaves, you can do a burst of microwaves, or a radio wave, and you can pick it up from that because your ear back here, that changes the airwaves. This is still changing it into a signal, an energy signal, and that goes in your brain, can detect it and understand it. So I think when people hear, like one person will hear somebody say something where the other person standing next to him won't hear it, I think it's because it's directional. And you'll get one device picking up an EVP and another device doesn't pick it up. At the same time, you can get one person picking up something. If they're holding the tape recorder, they can hear it, and tape recorder or whatever will pick up the EVP, but the person standing next to them won't hear anything because it's directional energy being thrown at the person and at the device. So this is why I'm going back to the wireless microphone, because basically I believe I can get this so that I can just pick up the energy waves and not the audible sound. And that's what I want to try and do. So, because this isn't a radio, even though it's FM, the signals that this puts out and the receiver unit that picks up isn't it's not in the frequencies to pick up radio stations. I believe it's higher than that. It's like 175 megahertz. So it's higher than your FM band radio. So it's not going to pick that up. So hopefully I can separate the spirit talking versus the human. So right now the only problems that I'm having is the microphones. These are condenser type microphones, and what I've done so far, which hasn't worked, okay, I have taken this condenser microphone, which there is a condenser microphone sitting in there, and I put tape over the front of it so that it wouldn't get the sound waves, and that didn't work. So I stuck this microphone in some foam, and I covered it in the foam, and then I stuck it in this case, and I sealed it in there, and I can still hear my voice coming through. So this doesn't work, okay? So this is basically out. I can't use that. So I needed an old-time microphone. That's when I found online. I found this, and it's basically, they're calling it a plastic cup microphone, and it will go in, it's got a coil in here that I made, and so there's 1,500 wines in there, 1,500 wines onto that little bobbin that's in there. It's a sewing machine bobbin, and I used very thin wire, 41 gauge wire, which is the thickness of your hair, so probably about even maybe smaller than your hair, so it's very fragile. But I put all those wines on there, and then I took a magnet, and what I'm trying to do is create the plastic cup microphone or paper cup microphone out of this and hook it into this transmitter for the wireless. But right now I have to make a microphone amplifier circuit so I can hook my microphone up to it and use like 1.5 volts, and then change it up. I'm going to try that one, and if that one doesn't give me anything, I'm going to try this other one that that I printed out from online, and I'm going to try. But this one takes like 12 volts or so, and I don't know how much voltage I can put into this thing before it like blows a circuit out on it and makes my cell phone totally useless. So I'm going to try and see if I can do that. So that's basically what I'm trying to do right now, is to get this so that I can separate EVPs clearly from human voice, from audible sound. because I believe that the spirits are speaking in, directive energy waves. So anyway, well, that's what I'm doing. So now you know. And if you're going to try it, get the pile. So they're better. So, all right. Well, thank you for watching. Have a good night. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.